Alright, so this is episode 4, the prestigious schools interview, and I assume from the title we are going to get into the interview and see how they pass this and get Anya into Eden College. But a little bit of a recap. We saw them have their little family bonding time, albeit before that we saw Loid giving them a mock interview and seeing how bad the both of them did the interview, Anya and Loid, and throughout the whole family outing as well, Loid had thought about how he should probably just get them to memorize a lot of answers to potentially all the questions that they're going to ask during the interview, but after a little violence, like I said, a little violence to help bond the family together, Loid decides to not do that and instead to continue on to have their whole family bonding time and just get Anya and Yor to answer in their own ways. We also saw a nice little moment with Loid and Yor where Yor had seen Loid stressing out a little bit since Loid says that this is his first time having to rely on someone else, or specifically civilians, to help with his mission. And so Yor sees that. She can't read his mind, but she can see that he is stressed out and strung out by this. So she takes him and Anya to this spot where she says that she would often go to whenever she feels I can't remember her words exactly, but the similar feelings that Loid is feeling, and she likes to look down at the people and feel like her work has done some help on these people. And so we saw that they had a nice little moment there, and even towards the end with each other, where they're both kind of blushing towards each other, and Anya is just looking at the both of them like, oh, mommy and daddy are flirting. So that was really nice, and we did see the old lady that they helped said that they look like a lovely family. So according to Loid, 1% of his plan is complete for the most part, so good for them. And again, as the title says, we're gonna get into the interview and we're gonna see how that goes. I do have my full-length reaction up on Patreon, which you guys can check out in the description down below. Other than that, let us get started. Alright, so that was episode 4 of Spy X Family. Let me know what you guys think about it in the comments down below. You know that I always like talking to you guys. For me, I thought that this was a pretty nice episode. As it said, it was for the interview, but we also saw the pre-interview as well. Just from them walking from the school gate and into the halls and everything. There were a bunch of instructors watching them, and they were all scoring points on, I assume, on the way that they're dressed, the way that they're walking, and the way that perhaps the family are interacting with each other. So that was pretty nice. And again, it shows that this is a this is a prestigious school, and they're very big on family values. So again, no broken families allowed. Which is just fantastic. But the nice thing in this episode is us getting more into Loid's head, and with what he said in the first episode, family, love, this whole thing, he has tossed it away when he became a spy because he's always switching identities, so he can't really make connections. So here he is having to make connections with his fake family, but we can see that towards the end, despite him still kind of like, why am I feeling this way for this, like how he got a little upset for Yor when that dude with the mustache was talking shit about her, and he's just like, why am I feeling irritated? She's not even my real wife. So like he's already making that connection. He's just not realizing it yet. And again, with how he got mad at the mustache man for belittling Anya when Anya is out here crying, and he's like, you need to stay calm, and he just ends up smashing the table. It was very nice just to know that in his body and his brain, for most his body and his brain, his his feelings for for his family is already more than he had already realized. So I really like the connection that they have with each other, and again with the connection that Loid is having, and with him constantly saying like, oh, even though I'm a spy and I've gone through all of these dangerous missions, this is the first time I ever feel nervous. This is the first time I ever feel anxious, because I don't even know why I'm because this is his first time having to rely on someone, because as he says, spies are always relying on themselves. They're never really looking at fate. They're not looking towards fate. They're not really believing, or not believing, but entrusting their fate. God, my words are all mixed up, but having to rely on others. There you go. Having to rely on Anya and Yor in order to get through this this interview. It was just very nice, and the pre-interview is very comical with the way that you had that kid who was just stuck in the gutter. Oh man, I'm stuck in the gutter. I can't do anything. And the headmaster had saw that, and he's just like, well, are you really going to come in and get your suit dirty? Come on. When he saw that Loid ended up putting his foot in and just grabbing the kid and pulling him out, the headmaster was just gonna be like, huh, fucking commoners. But then he finds out that Loid has a change of suit, which is just fantastic. And then with the actual accident of the animals coming in, because they were like, oh, I thought it was your idea, headmaster, but no, it was an actual accident. We saw that Loid ended up ripping his clothes by saving a kid, and then Yor ended up ripping her clothes by doing something that she learned from yoga class, and give the cow a nice little relaxing massage. So the both of them ended up ripping their clothes again, and Loid is just like, don't worry, we're also prepared for this situation. So he had like a third suit, which is just fantastic, but I'm still trying to figure out, how do you guys change suits so fast? What is going on here? Like, you guys are doing it in public. What's happening? This is some like magician level of clothes changing. Okay, so I'm trying to... So everybody's waiting in line, and then if you're in Hall 2... If you're in Hall 1, you pass. And if you're in Hall 2, then you fail. Okay. I'm still trying to figure out how Loid managed to get a little device under that desk. Because, like, he wasn't in that room before in the interview. Well, we didn't see before, unless he somehow did. Or he has another spy somewhere in here who did it for him. Or he did all of this beforehand somehow. Oh, so these three are housemasters. Okay. So he's the housemaster of Dorm 5, the Malcolm Hall. His name is Walter Evans. Okay. So he's the nice guy, mild-mannered, sincere, conservative, and then we have the guy in the middle. They're sort of like with Walter and him, they're both sort of playing good cop, bad cop. Albeit the guy is just very salty. His wife divorced him and he lost custody of his child. So he's all upset that this is a lovey-dovey couple. So he's like, I ain't letting your daughter into the school. And we find that he's also a very conservative man. He's like, oh, you're the wife, but you Master Swan. Okay, so his name is Murdoch Swan. All right. He teaches economics. I was gonna say something, but I'm going to refrain from it. He's the only son of the former headmaster and a legacy hire. What does legacy hire mean? Does that mean, like, I'll figure, let me just Google that. Legacy hire. Legacy employees shall be defined as those employees hired on or before. Well, these are like law shit. I'm not finding a definite... Oh, so it means that, from what I'm trying to figure out, what a legacy hire is that he was hired before the former housemaster left, and then there was a new housemaster. Is that what it is? It's like you're under a new management, but you're still working in that same place, and you're with the new management now. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm assuming. So his name is Henry. Henry Henderson. Okay. I just realized it says his personality is elegant. That's all that's all he is, an elegant man. I like how when Walter asks Loid, you know, how did you meet your second wife? And then Lloyd's going on this whole fucking story. And yours just over like, oh my god. Oh my god. She's out here fucking blushing and shit. It's so fucking great. And then again, we've got fucking Murdoch over here. Murdoch Swan, who's just like, why would a beautiful girl like you choose to be with a man who's got baggage, huh? He's got kids. Don't you want kids of your own? I'm a very conservative man. But I assume it's also, you know, this is the time era that they're in. We had this one moment when Walter asks, how do you feel about your new mom? And, you know, Anya's like, she's nice but scary sometimes. If you were to give your parents a score, what might that be? And Anya is like, a perfect 100. They're very fun. I love them very much and I want to be with them forever. You know, even Loid was just like, oh. You know, something that he thought about later on after he felt like they flubbed the interview with him just fucking punching the table and everything. And that was what he was thinking of with Anya saying that. And again, with him having that initial connection with Anya in episode 2 when he was thinking back about his childhood. Very nice. Again, the whole, he already has in his feelings that they are sort of like a family already, but he just hasn't made the connection yet. But then we got Murdoch over here coming in like, would you score your old mother higher than your new mother? And with that question, it made Anya cry, so we can only wonder why it made her cry. You know, I mean, we would assume perhaps her mom is dead, and does that, how old is Anya actually? I forgot. Either way, if her mom did die, when did she die? And like, did Anya at that time hold a connection to her mom? We know that Anya is a science girl, not a science girl, a girl who was subject to experiments, and that's the reason why she has the power that she has in the first place. But yeah, it just makes you wonder what did happen to her real mom, and why was she being experimented on in the first place. We find out that her mom sold her to the experiment. Either way, it seems like Anya does hold some sort of feelings for her original mom, and really makes me laugh that Murdoch's over here like, ha! She can't even fucking hold back her tears on the talk of her dead mom. She'll never be able to survive in this establishment. And Yor was just about to murder this man. Sorry, she's probably about to give him the nice massage points that she learned in yoga class. I don't know how she learned that. I mean, I know she's lying, but like, in terms of her lie, I don't really think they teach you that in yoga class, but... So yeah, trifling, you call this trifling, and then we have Loid who's like, don't snap at me just because she loves her real mother more. Oh, I feel so much better. And then we just have Loid who's just about to fucking punch him in the face. He's trying to restrain himself, and eventually he just smashes the goddamn table, which is just fantastic, dude. We can see his tie right here too. It's gone a little disheveled, his clothes, like his color. There you go. It's very nice. I like the details on it. Or maybe it's just that his tie is over his color. I don't know. What what is it? His tie is over his... Okay. But I like that, you know, he got mad for Anya, and he just ends up, instead of just sucking up this whole emotions and just continuing on with the interview, his emotions got the better of him, which... it's understandable because, again, this is one of his first time making connection with someone, and especially a family. So instead of sucking it up, he ends up not being able to restrain himself, and he just ends up fucking leaving. But also, this is the school for a bit. don't think you'll ever walk through our gates again. That's quite enough, Master Swan. Are you taking issues with my methods? He may be the former headmaster, but my father's influence within the school is still strong. It'd be wise for you to watch that mouth of yours. And then we just see fucking Henry coming in with a goddamn punch. He's like, oh, you want me to watch my mouth, huh? Well, how about you watch this fist instead? So it was very nice. And towards the end, with the persuasion or the encouragement of Yor and Anya, Loid decides that for once in his life, he's going to leave this up to fate. And he's like, oh, you know, might as well, you know, it's not a failure yet, who knows? And as Yor said, the two other headmaster, Henry and Walter, were very nice, and it seemed like they liked us, and that's like a 2-to-1, so perhaps. And as Loid was thinking we should leave it to fate, their picture fell off the wall, which is totally not an omen at all. Totally not an omen at all, and Anya's going to pass with flying colors, and she's going to get into school. So, totes, it's going to be great, and hopefully we'll get to see these kids that Anya will get to meet and make friends with. But other than that, if I have anything else to say, I will write it in the description down below. Thank you guys for sticking around, and I will see you guys in the next episode.